Broadcasting live from the only establishment in town that can't kick him out. His own basement. The world according to Rocket.
Hey now, hello and greetings. It is I, Rocket Man. This is the world according to Rocket. Thank you for spending a few minutes of your day with me today. I know you're probably busy, particularly during the holidays here. Here's a couple of news items you need to know. Coaches poll, the Vols are at number 10. AP poll, they are at 9. The revised college football playoff poll comes out tonight. We'll see where we are there. Not that we are in contention for the playoff, but it will just be nice to stay on the top 10 for the bowl implications. And at the time of this broadcast, I haven't seen any schedule for Hendon Hooker's knee surgery. I'll keep you informed. If anybody has heard about that or any info on that, let me know. The elephant in the room is, should defensive coordinator Tim Banks be fired from the Tennessee staff after that horrific performance in South Carolina? That is the talk amongst the Vol faithful. Now, I came here on Sunday with a very positive show and outlook about, look, settle down, don't be so quick to react, don't let this make you crazy. It's just a football game. We're still 9-2. Have a couple of games left, and our destiny for those two games is in our hands, right? That's still my position. However, I was trying not to act out of desperation or in particular anger about what happened Saturday night, because it's just a football game. But it is time to consider what the hell just happened in South Carolina. At South Carolina Saturday night, Hedges looking like Tennessee's defense. That's good right there, man. That's good. At a certain point in the discussion, Tennessee losing its star quarterback doesn't really make up for the defense giving up 60 points. True enough. Joseph B. I've been on this roller coaster a very long time, as have I, Joseph. This is summed up nicely. You can't kill what's already dead. Tennessee defense has been bad all year. It's just finally catching up. I'm not going to argue with that. This loss falls on Tim Banks and Tim Banks alone. Will Backus. I've been a Tim Banks apologist for the entire tenure, but this is the type of game where you need to start considering moving on. I could not agree with you more. Willie Martinez, and Tim Banks both have been employed by Butch Jones. This defensive meltdown against an inferior team isn't a surprise when you consider that. Man, that is spot on, brother. Big Orange Punch. Tim Banks better not be the defensive coordinator next year. It's getting ridiculous. I'm not for tweeting our coaches, but I can just imagine what Tim Banks' mentions look like. And I'm not mad about it. Let him have it. And about those orange helmets. So death to the orange helmets, huh? Send those orange helmets wherever they sent Dooley's pants. Remember those god-awful looking orange pants he had? A roaming Vol, put away the orange helmets. Put someone who can play zone coverage in those orange helmets. Right? Get rid of that phoner there. I know the orange helmets had nothing to do with the loss, but I don't ever want to see them again. Just nothing but bad memories associated with them. Launch orange helmets into the sun. Well, I guess we have to get Elon Musk to do that in the next SpaceX adventure. You see, here's what's confusing to me. We held off Pitt. We held off Florida, LSU, Alabama, Missouri, and we even held Georgia to almost half of what they normally score at home. So here's where the plot thickens. when everything was on the line, when a playoff spot was on the line, Tim Banks, the defensive coordinator who gets over $1 million a year, his performance just doesn't measure up to the task. Personally, I think he's in over his head. I think he's a better fit for a smaller conference. When I look at his resume, this is what I see. Defensive coordinator, 21 to present, yes. And we know what's happened. We look to 2016 to 20, Penn State, good school. Co-defensive coordinator in charge of safeties. 12 to 15, defensive coordinator, charge of secondary. 10 to 11, co-defensive coordinator, charge of defensive backs. That's at Cincinnati. Central Michigan, Maryland, defensive backs. Memphis, defensive backs. Bowling Green, defensive backs. So this guy's got like 2 decades of experience being in charge of defensive backs. And of course, you know, he's had promotions along the way, and couple that with being a defensive coordinator and an assistant defensive coordinator. But I'm looking at this, and this is where the blame lies, is this guy, whatever his understanding is about these positions, is not sufficient. It's not efficient enough to be playing in the SEC, in my opinion, just looking at this, right? He's just not. Now, he did, you look here, the conference championships in 2016, he was the co-defensive coordinator in charge of safeties with the Penn State Conference Championship. Everything else that he performed at well was in the Big East and the MAC Conference. Okay? That ain't the SEC, my friend. It just isn't. And he certainly isn't performing well here. Now, my guess is that they're putting out feelers about a rehire. Hiring a coach is a tricky situation. Not only do you have to have a guy who's good at the X's and the O's, but he has to be a really good recruiter. He has to be connected to really good football players, right? And hopefully, we want him to bring those really good high school recruits with him. So suddenly, and I never thought in a million years that in my remaining days on this planet that I would utter the following words. Vanderbilt has now become the most important game of the year for the Tennessee Volunteers. And it's all because of how poorly the defense is playing. It's on the line again. A top 10 ranking, a New Year's Six bowl invitation. More importantly, recruiting is at stake. Let me show you what a defense should look like. To be an elite football team, you have to have a defense that is preferably better performing than your offense. Case in point, Georgia, right? They have an offensive efficiency of 88.1. They have a defensive efficiency of 91.9. That's why, emphatically, they are the best team in the country, regardless of who wins the national championship. These guys are the best. You look at Ohio State, 92.6 offensive efficiency with an 80 defensive efficiency. I would put my money all day long on Georgia in that matchup. But look at this. Here's another really good team, Michigan. That's why they're there. They are balanced, right? Look at TCU. This is why I've been saying, TCU is fun to watch, but they're like Tennessee. Only in this regard, they're a little, they're a lot better actually defensively than Tennessee is. But you see the difference, the discrepancy here. 82 on the offensive side of the ball and 69 on the defensive side of the ball in terms of efficiency. Here's Tennessee, the worst of the bunch in this comparison. 90.8 efficiency and 49.2 deficiency. Now, I will say this. Look at USC. This is why I yawn when I hear people talking about how crazy great USC is. No, they're not. They're not. Look at this. There's a huge discrepancy there. And as we have seen on Saturday night, when you are this bad out of alignment, think of this as an automobile, and these are your two sets of tires on the front, and these are your two sets of tires on the back. And when these things get out of alignment, right, they start wobbling, and they literally can fall off. And that's what happened to Tennessee the other night. The wheels fell off. Is that a reasonable assessment of what happened Saturday night? The wheels fell off. Here's why the wheels fell off. The same thing's going to happen to USC, more than probably. Are the wheels going to fall off at Georgia? No. Are the wheels going to fall off at Ohio State? Well, they may wobble, but I don't think they're going to fall off. What about Michigan? They may get beat by a stronger team, but the wheels aren't going to fall off, right? TCU, they're going to do some wobbling. Tennessee, the wheels are going to fall off until they improve this number right here. Same with USC. If you were a high school football player, do you want to go to a 9-4 team in the SEC? Or do you want to go to 11-2 team in the SEC? When you collect a 7-figure check, that's given to you with performance expectations. And if you don't meet those expectations, chances are high they're going to take that check away and give it to somebody who can. And it's my opinion that that's the situation in which the Tennessee Volunteers find themselves. I'm sure he's a nice man, and my understanding is the players dig him, and my comments aren't personal. It just seems the best decision moving forward. But I guarantee you one thing. If he loses that game this weekend, if Tennessee loses, he's out. I think he should be out anyway, because it does not match up, as I showed you in those really good to elite defensive teams. That's why, man, you got to have a good defense. And that's all I have to say about that. What do you think? What do you think? Talk to me. Lay some wisdom on me. Hit the like and subscribe if you like my vibe. And I'll see you tomorrow.